evening. I'm Doris Dantes, and we're here this evening with one of the year 2000 Marin Women's Hall of Fame honorees in the field of education, Victoria Vieira. Victoria, welcome.
Well, thank you.
And let me say congratulations again.
Thanks very much, Doris.
I know that you've told me you consider it a great honor to have been inducted into the Marin Women's Hall of Fame. And I know that you have a long history of activism, but I'd like to talk first a little bit about your early years. I know you were born in Malaga, Spain, and apparently orphaned at an early age. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, I was born in Malaga during the Spanish Civil War. That sounds like a long time ago. But, and of course my parents both were very much involved in the fight against fascism. And both of them lost their life in the struggle. So I was raised by my two grandmothers. My mother's mother raised me until I was about 11 years old in Spain. And at that age, at 11, I came to France to live with my father's mother, who had exiled herself in France.
And I'm sure these, your relationship with your grandmothers must have been a very important influence on your early years.
That's right, that's right. Both of my grandmothers were very strong and wonderful women. And indeed, they did influence me a lot.
And then after spending a few years in France, you came to the United States.
Yes. When I was about 17 years old in France, living in France, I met a Californian. And we got married 2 years later and came to live to California.
Well, certainly a lucky break for us in California. And I know that from reading in your background that you got very involved in activism within the community early on.
Yes, when I have of course been an immigrant several times, 3 times I think in my life. And so when I came to California, I was very saddened by the way immigrants live here, especially Latinos. And I also lived in the South in the late 50s in Louisiana. I was there for about 6 months, and saw firsthand, the suffering of poor people and black people especially. So that must have done something to me, and I never could accept misery, and I had myself gone through a lot of misery myself, and it really bothered me to see people suffer.
When you first came to the U.S., you're quoted as saying, "I saw firsthand the plight of the Mexican Americans in California, and this experience radicalized me. I decided to become a teacher and to work to improve conditions for Hispanics, especially the poor." Was that the turning point when you originally decided to become a teacher?
Yes, indeed. I thought that by becoming a teacher, first of all, I would have a position in the community to be able to help others. And that's when I decided to go back to school and work very hard for many, many years.
And so you felt, if I'm understanding correctly, that by being a teacher you would have a voice.
That's right, that's right. I was very, as I told you before, very surprised to see the Mexican Americans being treated so poorly here in this country, because, I was being from Spain, I thought Mexico was just a wonderful country, and I loved Mexican people, Mexican music. So it was a shock to me to come here and see how they lived, you know, especially the field workers and other poor people.
And so that was your early motivation.
Yes, and of course I must say that immigrants are badly treated everywhere, not only in the United States, you know. I had lived in France and I had experienced also discrimination also there. But of course, coming to the States, then here the Mexican Americans, they were numerous.
And I know that early on in your teaching career, you became involved with the College of Marin. Is that correct?
First, I worked actually in Washington State. That's when I first became a teacher. But I was there for a year. And then my husband, who was working for the government, was sent to Germany. And I became a teacher there. I taught for about 7 years at the Nuremberg American High School. And while there, I became involved in many different committees, you know, the Human Relations Committee, and I worked, I used to have a lot of energy and enthusiasm, so we used to do many things with students, and we had a program called the Outward Bound, where we took students actually to southern Germany, American students, for about a week of human relation and workshops. And so that experience also must have shaped my later years. Mm-hmm.
And so was it when you returned to the United States that you joined College of Marin?
Yes, and when I returned in 1976, I joined the College of Marin. They were looking for a bilingual counselor. And at that time, the first Vietnamese were coming into Marin, and they all spoke French. And of course, they were also looking for a counselor who could develop programs for Latino students, because at that time we began to see the influx of Latino coming into our community, Latino and Vietnamese. And since I spoke Spanish and French,
you were
I was
the natural
hired.
choice.
Yes.
And I know you did that for a while.
I
and
did
then
that
you,
for 3 years.
And then you went on to become Dean of
Yes.
Arts and Humanities?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and then I was at Indian Valley College. I became the Dean of Arts and Humanities. And they were very exciting years because we did a lot of program development. I was able to organize many women's conferences, and so they were very exciting years. And then after that, after I was in that position for about 3.5 years, I became the provost.
Yes.
You know,
Now, tell me about that, because I
Yes.
know you were very effective in your role as provost in saving the Indian Valley campus. So tell me about that.
what had happened was that they had consolidated the administration. And I was given the position of provost, which I was the only administrator at the Indian Valley colleges, and all of the administrators were at College of Marin. So the strength, the power was at the College of Marin. And all of a sudden I saw myself with a tremendous responsibility when I found out that they wanted to close the college. I very quickly had to decide what was important to me, whether I should save my career or, save the campus. And I chose to tell the community what was happening. Although, and of course my boss was not very happy about that. But I decided that that's what I needed to do. So I began to speak to the different groups in the community, and everyone responded immediately. And we formed a very, very strong coalition between community, faculty members, and students. And we were able to stop the sale of the campus.
Well, I know that many people today still thank you for your success in saving Indian Valley. And then, of course, after being provost there and the battle was won, you then moved on and joined the faculty at the College of Marin campus?
Yes, yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes, I decided that, you know, I loved administration. I loved it, and I loved to, you know, to have the power to decide upon programs and things that I thought were necessary for our students. But it became so difficult that I decided, you know, I was so tired after the struggle that I decided to go back to the faculty and become a teacher. I mean, be a teacher again. So I was accepted by the foreign language department, and I began to teach again my two favorite subjects, French and Spanish.
Yes. And I know that while you've been back at the College of Marin campus, you've done much more than just teach. You've actually developed outreach programs to directed toward the Hispanic students and others as well. Tell me a little bit about some of your outreach programs.
Yes, I continued all along to work in the community. I developed, well, the ESL program at Indian Valley Colleges. With the help of others, we were able to implement that program. And we implemented programs for Vietnamese and Latinos and black students. I also started the women's, the Marin, the Hispanic Women Association. And we also were able to found a cultural center in Novato. And it was a very wonderful center where we had a gallery, an art gallery, and we had a music program for the children, and we had a newspaper.
In your nomination papers, you were described as educator, leader, college administrator, activist, fundraiser, and program organizer. So a long history of community involvement that has touched many people's lives and been directed in many different areas. Tell me what your motivation for all of this was.
For all of this, you know, I always felt that that there was no reason for people to suffer. That life is so beautiful, and people are so beautiful that I never could accept things as they were. You know, I always wanted to change things to my own vision of betterment for human beings. About 4 years ago, we, a group of women and myself, we met at my house to talk also about what can we do to show our wonderful culture to this country, you know. And we talked about different programs that could be done. We felt that there was such a cultural vacuum here in Marin, especially for Latino people, that we spoke about different things, and then Sylvia Perel suggested the Latino Film Festival, and that's how we started, the two of us, organizing the Latino Film Festival, that has been very
It's been tremendously successful, yes. And I know you must be very proud of that.
Yes. I always, in the Latino Film Festival, my interest was in education always, and in outreach, the outreach efforts to the Latino community, to our youth. So about 6 months ago, I decided that we needed to have a foundation here for Latino students. And we have founded what we call the Latino Educational and Cultural Foundation. And with that, we plan to provide students with scholarships. And we want to continue with the recruitment efforts that we have had. These past 4 years, we've been doing recruitment of Latino students. We bring them to the College of Marin for a day of a visitation of programs, and they meet the faculty members, they meet other students, and so we motivate them into looking further after high school. So we plan to do that, and we also would like to do a mentorship program.
And so there were people that mentored you, like your grandmothers, and now you're mentoring young people. And that's a wonderful tradition of passing it on, yes. In addition to your grandmothers, are there other people, women or anyone else in particular, that served as a role model for you?
Well, my 2 grandmothers and my aunt also serve as role model. And I think teachers also, words of teachers can be so important for young people. And I remember as a very young girl in France, when I first came to France, and I came to France at the age of 11 without knowing a word of French, and I was thrown into the classroom. I was the only one who did not speak the language. And, you know, luckily, teachers helped me make it through. We did not, at that time, there was no bilingual education, no one who understood me. But the teachers were very encouraging. And I remember one teacher telling my aunt once, "Oh, Victoria, she'll go far." Well, I think that I overheard it. And I think those words perhaps touched me. And I really believe that, you know, teachers have such an important role because they can touch so many lives.
I know that in addition to all of your activities here in California, that you do even more and are active with an organization in Mexico. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, these past 12 years, I have been working with an organization called Vivamos Mejor. And this organization was founded by Dr. Albert Baez. And what we do there is that we have a preschool, like a Head Start. And we have about 25 children in this preschool, and they learn all about the environment and the science and nutrition. And we also have several projects in a small town outside of Jalapa called Aguascalientes. And there we have a clinic and also another preschool that we are in the process of starting. And we also have agricultural programs. And Dr. Baez founded this organization about 20 years ago. And we do fundraising here. And with the fundraising, we are able to pay the salaries of the teachers and support the programs there. So Dr. Baez is such a wonderful person, as we all know. And he himself goes 2 or 3 times to Mexico to look at the programs, and I have been there many times, and people are so wonderful. They receive us with so much of love, and so I feel that that's also a way of bringing nations together,
Yes.
doing it
Absolutely.
in at a small scale, but
Yes.
it's still important.
As we look toward the future, Victoria, tell us about what some of your plans are. I know you have a long history of activism, and it sounds like you are just going to continue and keep going. So what do we have to look forward to?
Well, I guess the latest is the Latino Educational and Cultural Foundation that I just founded, and we intend to do scholarships, have scholarship for Latino students. We are also going to have a mentorship program, and we will continue with our recruitment efforts. You know, every year we bring about 250 high school students to the College of Marin.
Yes.
And they visit the campus, they visit programs, they speak to faculty members, also to other students.
Is
And
this to motivate them to consider
Yes.
college and
Yes.
to look toward that in their future?
That's right. We want to encourage and inspire our students into looking beyond high school.
Yes.
And as you know, we have a very high percentage of Latino high school dropout.
Yes.
And we cannot tolerate that. You know, we have to try to keep our young people in high school, and from there on to college.
And is the mentoring program designed to address that?
Yes, in the mentoring program, we want to do workshops and to inform our students of services that are available to them, programs, and we would like to also to match them with professionals
I see.
who could motivate them into the different careers.
And have you been able to measure at all what effect that has?
Well,
Any great success
I don't
stories
know if
from?
this has had any impact, but I know that the percentage of Latino students going to the College of Marin has increased, and it continues to increase. But of course, we know also that the Latino population is increasing, so it's a normal thing. Last October, we also organized the Lorca Festival, the Garcia Lorca Festival, and it was a festival over 4 days of poetry and drama and dance and music. And we brought in also another about 250 advanced placement students from Drake and Tamalpais and Redwood, Novato High School, to the college also to participate in this program. So I'll be doing, I guess most likely I will continue to do more of that.
As a year 2000 and honoree for the Marin Women's Hall of Fame, we're beginning a new millennium, and tell me what your vision for the Marin community is in the coming years.
Well, I believe that Marin County must support the schools. That's of the most importance. It's very, very important that we continue to support our school, that we support our young people, and that we try to deal with the disparity that exists between schools. That is something that is not acceptable. I think we have to bring all of the schools up to the same level. And we know that all the schools in Marin are not equal. So we need to pay attention to those schools that are not, and just bring them up to part with the rest of the schools. We also need also to look at our students that are in need and support them. We have neighborhoods, the canal, that needs a lot of support, and the Marin City. And we cannot consider these communities as isolated communities. They have to become part of the mainstream here in Marin. So we cannot, you know, just close our eyes and live in this beautiful county, thinking that everything is beautiful. Yes, it is a beautiful county with beautiful people, but we are not all equal, and we have to try to strive for more equality.